Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show presented by Phillips Norelco. We are in New York going live for week 9 of college football, week 2 of the Big Ten. And Dan, we just got to say this right off the top of the show. Wisconsin had a great weekend. They will not be playing this weekend, though, and I know you're not very happy about it.
I mean, it is what it is. Everything sucks. Kevin Warren's a fucking piece of shit.
It's just all his fault at this point, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the Big Ten had a chance to do the thing correctly, what the SEC is doing, what the Big 12 is doing, and that is have worked in bye weeks in case you have an outbreak. Look at Florida. It just happened. Look at Oklahoma State. It just happened.
North Carolina.
Look at North Carolina. There are teams that have dealt with this, and it feels like they've done a good job with it. The Big Ten, the way that they hemmed and hawed, canceled the season, brought it back, there was no room for error, so it was going to happen no matter what. It sucks that it's my team. It was going to happen to a team, whether it be the Big Ten or the Pac-12, when you have a schedule with no bye weeks.
Congratulations on finding your quarterback, though.
He's awesome.
You had a Heisman candidate for.
That's the only. No, you weren't. You looked at me. That's the only thing that is making me not like super depressed is that Graham Mertz wasn't going to play for the next 3 weeks regardless. So what's the point? Like, I love Graham Mertz. He's the apple of my eye. So without him, there's no reason to play.
Is he going to win a Heisman?
Yeah, multiple.
3?
People are already saying, like, he might go to the pros. Well, I'll throw this back at them. I might just pay him personally to stay at Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, not if you say it out loud.
No, I don't.
It's not a violation if you say it out loud.
Or you give him fake money like Odell did.
No, I will give him real money if I can.
2 years.
Yep, that is not illegal if you say it.
And then your guy, Joe Milton. Milton Tough.
Heisman Trophy candidate. Michigan looks great, #1 team in the country in my polls, and they remain there. A lot of people thought they'd struggle in Minnesota, tough place to play. They rode the boat, and they rode it right over their faces. And then they went home, and they quarantined. They stayed out of the party scene. They didn't go to Mifflin.
Okay.
They went home and studied film.
Real hard to stay out of the party scene
the
in
Michigan
Ann Arbor.
way. Football first,
very
partying
difficult.
second.
Very
They have parties in Ann Arbor?
No, they don't. They have ricks with standing water.
Credit to Michigan. What?
Doing
Can we
things the
just
right
say
way.
one thing to be on the same team? Remember his stupid fucking laugh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he thought Minnesota was going to beat Michigan.
That was all time.
You're welcome.
That was all time. That was the moment that I knew.
Welcome for what?
Because, like Dan said, the moment I did that, I sealed the fate of that game, 100%.
Yes.
I'd rather have my quarterback than your quarterback.
Well, that's stupid.
Whoa.
Well, that's I
Well, fat.
about that.
And now that the Big Ten's back, the fat shaming is going to be back. Let's get into
I think that was the first one of the year.
That's what I'm saying. Now that Ohio State and Michigan are playing again, we're going to be hearing it a lot. Let's get into the High Noon Weekend Preview. High Noon Hard Seltzer keeps it real just like we do. Keep this game changer on deck for home gating, watch parties, or any day drinking opportunities. Real vodka, real juice for real fans just like us. Let's start in the Big 12. Texas at number 6, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is favored by 3.5. The total is 58.5. Oklahoma State's still undefeated, even though they had that 21-day break. Spencer Sanders is healthy. And then meanwhile, Texas, they're 3-2 and they beat Baylor. Dan, what do you think?
This game is tough. I like the under in this game. I think Oklahoma State's defense is the best unit on this field. And this game is weird. It feels like Oklahoma State should be favored by a lot more than 3.5. So I have kind of like what's going on here.
Yeah, so I'm scared of Mike Gundy. That's what's going on for me. Oklahoma State is the better team. They have the better defense. They should win the game. But Mike Gundy always has a game where he has high expectations and he falls flat on his face. I like Oklahoma State for one reason. Their offense should be the best team on the field when they play because they got Spencer Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, and they got Tylan
Wallace.
Don't you love
Tylan
Sam
Wallace.
Ehlinger? Don't you love him?
I like Sam Ehlinger, but at every level of skill position players, Oklahoma State has great players. Their offense hasn't been good yet. It's going to get good eventually. I'm going to pick Oklahoma State, but I'm scared of a Mike Gundy game at some point.
Dave?
I don't know if that's fair to say Mike Gundy. That's more like a Big 12. They cannibalize themselves. Like
But remember when he had Iowa State and he was going to go to the national title game and he had
But that's Iowa State. That's kind of the point. Iowa State does that.
They it's not just them. I feel like
I lost a lot of money on that game. I remember that game.
He was going to play for a
that
national
was like
title.
someone died that game.
That was like a
Death game? Was it?
That was like
That wasn't-
the Thursday or
think it
Friday
was.
before
It was a
Thanksgiving.
Friday. It was a Friday.
Before Thanksgiving.
I think
and
something
remember
happened.
Did the Oklahoma State plane crash? That wasn't connected.
No. That was somebody had died that week, I think.
Yeah, but
I don't remember the
There's
death.
always the
Maybe I'm wrong. I think that was
the other one was always I used to get killed. Oregon and Stanford when they would play, and I'd be like, Oregon's gonna run it up on them, and Stanford would just fucking shove it in them. That's how it would happen every single.
How did you get there from where you were?
Because it's all the late November, like when you think you got everything figured out, and then the man football comes out, like Iowa State or Stanford, and beats the fuck out of the flashy team that can run it up and down the field.
And death reminded you of that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the death came from. I was just
the Iowa State upset. For some reason, I have a death situation in my head. I
It
don't
was
know. If it's accurate.
2011, I believe.
Like somebody had died at Iowa State, though, I feel like, and they were like playing for it.
That's what I vaguely remember.
Can somebody check that, please?
Check the deaths.
I just remember that
Check the obituaries.
I died.
So maybe that's what we're thinking?
After that.
It was a midweek game, right?
No, it was a Friday.
No, it's Friday.
It's a Friday game.
Okay, that counts for me. But not a Saturday game.
Okay.
I know technically midweek is not Friday,
I got
but
you.
weekday game. If Blattman can put in the graphic, like, that you push your luck when it's like no whammies, no whammies, no whammy, stop. And then the little whammies run across your screen when you get a whammy. This would be little rats running across cartoon rats, eating like carrots and being like rat game. This is a rat game, like you said, Dan. It makes no sense to me how Oklahoma State's only 3.5. Texas doesn't look good all season. Oklahoma State is a very different team than what we remember. Physical, good defense, but it's a rat. The line's a rat, unless it's just the burnt orange gets the public. I don't know. I'll take Oklahoma State, but it's a rat.
It is a rat.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State as well. They did beat Iowa State, who looks good, but you guys said it. Oklahoma State's actually playing defense.
Oklahoma State dominated Iowa State.
Yeah,
they pushed, thank God, but that game was not that close. It was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out for Iowa State.
Let's go to Michigan State at number 13. Michigan favored by 24.5. The total at 52.5. Now, this is usually a pretty heated rivalry, Dave, but Michigan State losing to Rutgers last week, first year with Mel Tucker, they looked absolutely awful. And then you've already said Joe Milton's going to win a couple Heismans in your mind.
Well, we still, if he has eligibility left. I thought he was a freshman, to be honest. He's not. But he is one of the great quarterbacks I've ever
You could offer to pay him.
What do you mean?
You could just say,
That's what he
I
did.
want him to stay.
Well, he's going to stay.
Start paying him.
Listen, Michigan looked great. Michigan State looked awful. This is big brother, little brother. It is an intense game, but Michigan wins this game probably by 50. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. I'm feeling good, and it's all going to come down to Ohio State, Michigan for the national championship. Obviously, you got to win the Big Ten, but the winner of that game will win the national championship, most likely.
Put that on the record now. Dan, what do you think?
Well, Dave said it, but I'm going the other way. It's Michigan looked great. Michigan State looked terrible. I'm going with Michigan State because they look bad.
Versus spread.
Versus spread. They look bad. Yeah, no, Michigan will win this game, but I think it's an overreaction. Michigan State had 7 turnovers. They basically gave Rutgers a short field every single time. Their defense settled down. I don't think Michigan State's offense isn't great, but I think this will be a game that's a little bit more difficult for Michigan, and the Spartans' defense will keep them in it, at least in the number.
I said this before, and I do believe this about Harbaugh. I've always believed it. He is a run the score up. He likes having a hammer.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in winning. If he can win by 100, he will. If he can win by 200, he will. If he can win by 300, rivalry game. He's had some lean years. I really think he runs this thing up.
So that's exactly the logic I was going to use because Michigan State is wounded. I know that they had 7 turnovers, but you let Rutgers come into your house and do that to you. You're just not a good football team. Plus,
Rutgers
Mark
is better
D'Antonio
than
left
we thought.
that. He left that in a mess.
There's something weird
Michigan
going on.
State
with
is
Michigan
a
State.
fucking mess. And little swagger coming out of Minnesota last week. Michigan went there. We didn't know what to think. They pushed Minnesota around. They're going to push
College kids can deal with swagger.
They're going to push Michigan State around. Michigan's going to cover this number.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a blowout.
I mean, Michigan State looks like they're in complete shambles.
The story
That's
here is
why I love them. That's why I love them.
Michigan State, well, there's a lot of points. It's a shit ton of points.
why I
good
love
for college football that Michigan's back.
I agree with that. I'm going to take Michigan. I think they're a much better team.
I love it.
Like,
I
you
love
love it 'cause
having
we're all taking
24.5 points
Yeah.
and being the only one who picked them.
Yeah, I'm going to take Michigan. I like them. I like the Milton Tough thing, and I think the fact that you lose to Rutgers, like I can't pick you. I just simply cannot pick you. if
I
you lose to
credit
Rutgers.
to Dan. He gave me that Rutgers pick, and I needed it last week.
Rutgers is spicy because Schiano just treats it. He treated his roster like NFL free agency. He just brought in a bunch of transfers. I don't even know if they're eligible, but they're gonna be a tough out for a lot of teams this year.
Let's go to the SEC. Arkansas at number 8, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is favored by 12.5, the total at 55.5. And normally this game is played at Jerry World in Arlington. It is played at Kyle Field this year because of COVID. And this game is always weirdly close, even when Arkansas is absolutely garbage. A&M always just barely beats them. Brandon, I know that you know what it's like to lose to Arkansas, so...
That doesn't seem necessary considering how on the bandwagon of Texas A&M I've been all year.
Well, no, but I mean,
necessary.
it was necessary because, I mean, Arkansas got their first SEC
Well,
win this year.
Arkansas is a pretty decent
Right,
football
that's
team.
what I'm
Arkansas
saying.
should be 3-1 right now. The refs gave them a win over Auburn. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Mississippi State. But Arkansas, more importantly, I believe, depending on what you got the Georgia game, could be 4-0 against the spread. They lost that game by 27. It was between 26 and 28, wherever you got it. But otherwise, they're 3-1 against the spread, and they're going to be 4-1 because 12.5 is too many to give to A&M. A&M is going to win the game. Arkansas is good enough to stay within the number. I'm taking Arkansas. Sam Pittman's doing a great job.
That
I hate
hurts you
it,
to
but
say.
No, I hate it. I hate it because I didn't like the guy, but he's doing a great job.
Have you apologized to him yet?
Not necessary.
Are you don't think you, I mean, you made fun
Why
of
would
him
I
all
apologize?
summer.
I say things. He's proven me wrong. Whatever. Good for him.
All right. Dan, what do you think about this game?
I'm a little nervous about my week that I got going here because I feel like contrarian, but I love Texas A&M in this game. I love Texas A&M. Everyone loves Arkansas. Everyone thinks Arkansas is this like hot new thing. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Mississippi State, two teams that run similar style
They beat Auburn
offenses.
as well.
Yeah, well, they didn't, but they played Auburn close. Auburn sucks,
Auburn
right?
does suck, you're right.
Yes.
Auburn
They do
sucks. Ole Miss and Mississippi State also suck. I think Texas A&M is a complete team. They're not flashy, but they're a complete team, defense, offense. I love Texas A&M in this game.
And Isaiah Spiller was on the injury reports. He is officially playing too, so that is something to keep in mind for A&M. Dave, what do you think?
Well, I guess, you know, Arkansas has been good to me gambling. So whenever you have a team that's won a couple times, you're partial to them. A&M's actually been pretty good too. I guess I have a question for you, Casey. Since a lot of people are saying Kyle Field is ground zero for COVID.
They are saying that?
Yeah. What?
That's actually Wisconsin did a walk.
You infected Florida.
last week.
What? So
Well, A&M hasn't had to sit
You
out.
infected Dan Mullen.
well, when you guys
They partied, I think, after the game in Florida.
are you guys going to have a like sold out stadium again?
No.
That matters.
25% is
Like,
what they
because
said.
you
No, it
guys-
wasn't
listen,
20. It was
90,000
way
people
more.
there.
25% of
literally were-
110,000 people is a lot of
literally,
people.
It was standing room only, and that's a huge thing. So I'm asking, what is it going to be a full house at? Because that affects this.
It is a
From
big
what-
advantage to have a crowd full of
Of course
COVID
it
people
is.
there.
Well, but I
correct.
mean, they can't have
Coughing on
COVID
them
if,
and
you know, if A&M hasn't had
Kissing
to sit
each
out.
other.
Yeah, they do kiss each other a lot there.
But I mean, that was a full house.
So, and I agree with you.
And
I
that's
thought
what
it was.
Florida's like, we need full, and that basically changed the trajectory of COVID in the United States.
Florida hasn't played since.
My question, they have,
A&M
and
hasn't
that's
set
when they're
out,
like,
so
we
it
need
sounds like a
100,000
Florida problem.
people because A&M has 100,000. So my question for home field is this going to be a sellout?
From what I understand is that they're saying that was still 25%, but everybody moved down from the third deck, and the camera angles made it look like there were a lot more people.
No,
already
the third
moved down.
deck looked like it was
Yeah,
packed.
every
I'm
deck
just
was
I'm just
full.
repeating what I was told because I also thought it was more than 25%, but as soon as I said that, I got destroyed by Aggies saying they would never cheat over the 25%.
Okay,
Because
so-
Aggies don't.
So
steal-
is that crowd going to be the same as what I saw?
I would assume so. Yes.
Well, then that's a huge home field advantage.
Yeah, and this is a big game.
The only team basically that has their normal crowd at the game.
Well, it's not their normal crowd.
Well, that
It's
was-
105
Most of them.
people. Are,
That was, I don't
Fascinating.
think anybody, you had to be like a scene from Alien where like you're puking and aliens literally coming out of your stomach for you not to be allowed in at Texas.
well, their athletic
Or it'd be
director,
over 90 or something.
Ross. I know you love him, Ross Bjork. He said it's going to be 25% again.
Oh, he's a liar.
Again.
He's a proven liar.
Yeah.
So he's like last time was 25%.
Yeah, they're sticking by it was
Okay.
25%.
Well, that-
Proven
that-
cheater and liar.
That was not
Approximately
the case.
27,000 fans is what.
That was
So that changes it because A&M is playing with no difference, and it's the
That's a big
12th man.
difference.
They're
I mean, it's
there.
like 80,000 people different.
But we saw the TV. They were there.
I will say, I mean, I'm not Brandon. You can attest to this. I did say I was very uncomfortable watching that because I knew it was more than 25%.
Well, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
going to be?
So
It's gonna be the
be
same.
honest with Dave. You don't have to just be
Well, no,
honest.
I mean, all I'm saying is that they're saying it's 25%. It did look like more than.
Because
25%.
Arkansas, while playing great, they haven't played a real road game. You don't know what that'll be when people go nuts. You're like, oh, you went from a library to the most ruckus crowd in the history of college football.
So people are saying Kyle Field's the ground zero of COVID.
Yeah,
So why haven't they set out yet?
it's the fans.
Right.
Well, right, but
They know how to
They're
get the other
6 feet
team
away
infected.
from the players.
I know. You don't think the players are hanging out with the regular students?
The students.
I mean, that's what happened at Wisconsin.
didn't
They're
come
not
up
partying.
Dorks, though.
We didn't come up with the system, Casey. They did.
I mean, I walked right into that one. I mean, okay.
No, I don't
It's gonna
think
be
I don't think the football team hangs out with the dorks at A&M. At Wisconsin, they for sure do.
So yes, it will be loud at Kyle Field. That's a fact. I also think because it's at Kyle Field, I'm going to take A&M. When they play at Jerry World, it's always, like I said, weirdly close. But I like.
You're agreeing.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. It's going to be loud.
I think I'm going to take
And it's a night
A&M
game.
based on the. It's all right.
It's
there
a
we
night
go.
game
It's
at
a
Kyle
night
Field.
game
Are
at
you
A&M.
also, do you feel bad that A&M is taking this home game because of COVID and not giving it back to Arkansas next year? Your AD
well,
will not
I
give them
mean-
back their home game?
I like
They're
that.
under contract.
I like
They're under
that.
contract. I mean,
I
what
like
can you do?
that. But there's going to be 150,000 people at this game for A&M, breathing all over each other.
At night.
Yeah.
At night, I will take A&M then because I truly believe, and I'm not being like facetious, sarcastic, this is going to be a wild home field advantage. At night, Arkansas hasn't played in there. Everyone's got COVID. I'll take A&M.
I'm going to take A&M. I don't think everyone has COVID.
Well,
but
the
I am
fans
gonna,
definitely have COVID.
Well, they're also, they're getting the COVID vaccine in College Station right now. They're making it.
I don't even, what does that mean?
Like federal
You guys
funding.
have it? You haven't told
No,
me about it?
they're working on it. Federal funding went to Texas A&M to
I think
create
it's
the
like a waste of
vaccine.
money?
Why?
It's going to work on just cows.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unnecessary.
But-
It's a global pandemic. It's going to work on humans, hopefully.
Well, I
Let's
mean,
hopefully.
I think we all know A&M is not going to be the school that develops this
Why do we all know that?
because of what Dan just said. I don't want to berate the point, but like we're talking about humans, not cows.
I'm never going to win this. I'm not even going to try. I'm taking A&M. It's just, I'm going to let this
They have a lot more test subjects, I'll say that.
The cows.
Is that what you guys were testing on dogs?
No, I haven't gotten that.
Oh, yeah, you guys
I know.
tested
I already
on
said
beagles.
if A&M is doing that, that's fucked up, and I will stand up
They're
to
testing
that.
the COVID thing on dogs.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
By the way,
that and mascara.
I have no
That and
problem with
kissing each other,
A&M
too.
putting 120,000 people just owning it. Listen,
I'd like
football's
to know
football.
it before.
Football's
Well,
football.
I mean, they're saying it's 25%.
What's the
I don't
word?
know what you want from
But
me.
we have eyes.
I agree with you there.
I mean,
but,
literally,
all I can know is
literally,
it's 25%.
Florida was like, this is unfair. We
Yeah.
need-
Well, Dan Mullen was like
Alert.
crying about it.
Well,
and he got
that's
COVID.
because you guys gave
You
him
guys broke the
COVID.
rules.
Oh, so now A&M gave Dan Mullen COVID.
Correct.
Possibly.
Looks like it.
Absolutely not true. We'll get to more games in just a little bit. But speaking of Florida, we're going to go out to Caleb for concussion protocol.
What would you say to a girl who goes to the bathroom just to use it?
I'd say, do you want me to come with you?
In my long career as an investigative journalist, there's been one story that's eluded me like a whispering ghost in the fall wind. That story revolves around an unanswered question as old as time itself. Why do girls poop in groups? When one girl says she needs to use the bathroom, the whole table of women rises to join her. It's an intriguing phenomenon that I haven't been able to uncover due to my status as a male. So you can imagine my excitement when I first saw Annabelle Whitaker.
So, Mr. Hag, why so early?
As any smart young woman would, for Halloween, Annabelle dressed up as her favorite journalist.
Hi, I'm Kayla Presley.
And her journalistic prowess turned out to be just as rigorous as my own.
So, Johnny, you off-road a lot?
Together, I believed we could get to the bottom of the girls going to the bathroom question. But it wouldn't be easy.
So you're a girl. You got any leads?
No, I do not, but I think we can get to the bottom of this situation.
How?
I think we have to do it the old-fashioned way.
What should we ask?
I think we should ask why. I think that's the most important question. I think that's the question that we should always ask.
Should we be tough about it? Should we be tough about how we ask them?
Yes,
You got any tips for me?
let them talk, and you'll get more out of it.
You ever been in a girl's bathroom before?
Yes,
I think you're prepared.
I do too.
Girls' bathroom behavior is obviously an important issue, and like any pro would, Annabelle wasted no time getting to the bottom of it.
Did you just poop?
No.
Is that why you came in here alone? Because you had to poop?
It's a possibility to just poop and then run out.
A solo mission to the women's room seemed to suggest a number 2, but our questions about a group visit remained.
So why'd you come in here in the first place?
So honestly, I've been hooking up with this guy, and I saw him talk to another girl out there, and I needed to talk to my bitches about the situation.
Way to form a plan of attack on this girl so we can get her out of his bed and get her in it. Yes!
Hey, I'm 13.
These women were using the restroom as a makeshift venue for rated R TED Talks. But was it only women who were guilty?
Do you think boys do this?
No, they don't do that.
Definitely not.
I think that's definitely a girl thing. Boys keep everything inside and don't let it out.
Isn't the bathroom for letting other things out?
Definitely.
It was clear that neither pooping or peeing was the priority for these group missions to the loo. And for that reason, Annabelle and I were interested to find out if men demonstrated similar behavior.
Hey, I'm a girl. I've never been into the boys' bathroom. What goes on in there?
I usually go to the bathroom and I try to wash my hands and come back to the bar.
You don't wash your hands, do you?
Not all the time.
And that's gross, isn't it?
I think it's depends if you're doing one or two.
You're doing two, aren't you?
There was no doubt that these men's hands were as dirty as their thoughts. But did the girls even know what these guys were truly thinking?
What do you think the guys think when you leave them at the table? What are they thinking?
what they're talking about. They want to know why we're going away. Why are they leaving?
It was the only thing that these men were thinking about. Unless they weren't thinking about it at all.
Do you even really care?
Can't stop thinking about it. But no, I'll forget about it eventually.
As it turns out, the mischievous acts of women in the toilet makes absolutely no difference to the men they're leaving behind. And maybe that's okay.
At the end of the day, going to the bathroom is bigger than just poops.
It's an opportunity to assess the past and plan the future.
And when done properly, one can leave their waste behind
And truly live in the present.
All right, thanks so much, Caleb. That girl's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I want to hire her. I actually DM'd with her yesterday, being like, Caleb, and you should do like red carpet stuff. She's a better golfer than Caleb. She also did like the clap, which was hilarious. So she's a talented girl.
And we found her because she just started dressing up like Caleb.
Well, she found us, I think.
Well, I'm saying, but like she on social media just pretended to be Caleb. And that's pretty awesome. Let's get back into the high noon weekend preview. We're going to go back into the SEC. Mississippi State at number 2, Alabama. Alabama favored by 31.5. The total at 63.5. And Brandon, I believe Mississippi State has lost 13 straight to Alabama. Is that?
Oh, at least. My God,
And
at least.
Kylan Hill officially off the team.
7 players
Quit.
left?
We lost 3 more this morning.
Transferring and opting
Mike
out.
Leach said,
Yeah.
he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we got more.
Yeah,
No, we're cleaning out the program and we're building it back up. We're cleaning it out, building it back
Who
up.
did you guys
That's what
lose
we're
this
doing.
morning? Any defense?
We got a transfer from Alabama that's going to play wide receiver over the offseason. He transferred this morning. So,
Back to Alabama?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going, but he was there for about 4 games and didn't do much, scored 1 touchdown. But anyway.
So, and you said you're happy Kylan Hill's off the team.
I'm happy that Mike Leach is doing what he needs to do for the future of the program. All right, some guys aren't built to be Mississippi State Bulldogs. I am, Mike Leach is, and we're going to build it up together. That's what we're going to do.
Damn, this is really different than week 1.
It's unbelievable.
Like, it's crazy.
You guys were over the moon about Mike Leach, about KJ Costello and stuff.
Yeah.
We were all crazy about it. We were all.
We all
went crazy.
I like Costello.
Yeah. I mean, he broke the record of passing yards in the SEC.
It's also
Literally,
thrown
life comes at
10
you
interceptions.
fast.
Life comes at you real fucking fast.
10 interceptions so far,
Hey,
right?
you got 1 week.
They've thrown 2 touchdowns, 10 interceptions since week 1.
Yeah, he has.
But your season's done, so that's fine.
2 touchdowns, I'm saying, not 2 points that they
No,
scored against Kentucky.
No, I got it. I've watched every game.
2 at Kentucky. 2.
Okay, so Arkansas.
Wait, was that at home?
Mississippi State.
Was
Alabama.
that game at home?
Which one?
The one you scored 2.
Oh, that was at Kentucky.
Okay,
No,
good.
you
A&M
are.
game was at
You know, it's like you and Big T. You're like similar, like big.
No. That's
This week?
this week, yeah, but like Mississippi State is nowhere near as relevant as Tennessee.
Wait a fucking minute. Yes, they are. Last 10 years, we got more SEC wins than they do.
But
just that big son of a bitch goes and cries on screen.
This is like, are you going to watch the game? You know you're walking into a massacre. That was Big T last week.
Yes, but he actually thought they were going to win. I understand what's about to happen.
Was Alabama?
He said he wasn't going to watch.
He watched.
He
Yeah,
watched.
but he didn't think
and there was a moment.
There was a moment Friday where he was like, Okay. Here's the play. The under is the play. Our defense, this is shocking. Mississippi State's defense is...
You didn't lose anyone on defense, did you?
No. Statistically, the best defense in the SEC. It's crazy. We're number one statistically. We'll keep the blowout to a minimum. I'm thinking 49-3, 49-6, something like that. I'm going under the number of 63
Well, you
and a
should
half.
take Bama because that's a pretty easy win.
Yeah, that would be covering the
I
spread
just
there.
didn't want to do that in front of God and everybody did.
Okay,
Well,
that's fair.
but you just did because you said 49-3, and that's more than 31 and a half.
I'm not putting my money on Alabama to beat us by more than 31 points. I'm
fair.
putting it on staying under the number of 63 and a half.
Okay, and Dan, Jalen Waddle is out.
Yeah.
I mean, does that matter at all for this game?
No, I mean, that's why I like the under. I like the under anyway, but I like it even more. Alabama obviously has a ton of weapons, but you can't tell me that losing Jalen Waddle doesn't make them like maybe at least a percentage less explosive.
It matters when they play Georgia again.
But
doesn't matter.
No, it matters If you're betting the under, it matters.
Well, Devontae
It matters
Smith is
'cause
also great.
Right, of course. He's very, very good. I'm just saying it's one less guy that you have to worry about, and I'm not even talking about just he returned kicks too. He was pretty goddamn good at that. So I'm taking the under. Before Jalen Waddle and now after, I even feel better.
What did you think about Nick Saban's comment about Jalen Waddle?
What did he say?
He said at halftime, they asked him, what about Jalen Waddle? He says he's out for the year. And unprompted, he said, you're not supposed to bring kicks out if they're that deep in the end zone.
Oh, I like that. Always
like
be
that?
coaching. Yeah, always be coaching.
Always, okay.
You hurt
Fair enough.
yourself. You got he injury shamed him. Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
I mean, is he wrong?
No, you're not supposed to bring it out. Should he be saying it? I don't know.
ABC,
always be coaching.
Dave, what do you think?
I'll get you. I guarantee you, the next guy doesn't bring it out from that deep.
No one's ever bringing it out.
Right.
No one will ever do it.
Saving injuries. What do I think of this game? I think Alabama, I'm going to go with very close to probably, Brandon's score. Here's the thing. I think Mississippi State could end up giving up like 1,000 points in this game, not because their defense is horrible, but the offense that Mississippi State runs, if they're going to be going 3 and out, incomplete, and keep giving the ball to Alabama's going to start to lean on them. And by late third, fourth, when they're just trying to run the game out, they may be breaking 10, 20 long runs. So I think Alabama absolutely trashes Mississippi State. Alabama's the play. I won't touch the total, but I don't see any way. Even though 31 sounds huge, unless this is a freak game where the offense clicks back into gear like it did against LSU.
They could.
It's true, though. No,
I mean, it also.
It will
Alabama's
not.
defense
It
not very
will
good.
not.
The-
It will not.
I know I'm not supposed to do the transitive property thing, but the way A&M could run all over Alabama, and then the way Alabama could run all over A&M, it seems like it's going to be a lot of points.
But it might.
I also am going to push back. I don't think Alabama's defense is as bad as everyone says it is. That game
By
against
Alabama
Ole Miss
standards,
got
it
out of control. It was an out of control game. Sometimes those games happen.
It happens versus Ole Miss a lot with Alabama lately.
I'm going to take Alabama too. I'm sorry, Brandon. Mississippi State is absolutely
Just those
garbage.
keeping score at home. Chalk Smith 4-0.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, who did you pick to upset? Anyone?
Good question.
No, I'm chalk too.
Okay. All right. That's on record too. Let's finish out the weekend with.
That's only I was on Arkansas until you told me it was a home game for A&M.
So you're picking all favorites too.
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. Number 3, Ohio State at number 18, Penn State. Ohio State favored by 11.5. The total at 63.5. Now, before the Big Ten started, we thought this was going to be the game of the year, but then Penn State.
I never thought that.
A lot of people did.
I always thought it would be Michigan, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Well, other than Michigan fans and Dave, people thought this.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, you are kind of doing this.
Why are you doing this to yourself? It happens
That's
every
what fans
year.
do.
Not excited.
No, 'cause
It
that's what
happens
fans
every
do.
year. You're going to get fucking shit pumped by Ohio
The
State.
answer, Dan, is because I don't have the Patriots.
It's true. Okay, good.
So now you're all in on Michigan.
Good answer.
That is
Good
the
answer.
answer. But of course, Penn State lost last week to Indiana. Was it across the goal line, Dan?
No, fuck no.
No, I tweeted right after it happened. I was like, I'm watching
I don't
it.
understand what you're talking. You can't say he did not get there.
No, the ball hit the ground before it hit the pylon.
But
But
was the tip of the ball over the goal line before it hit the ground?
I don't know.
He did not score.
Okay,
We're asking the question.
I know we're going to see it. in
I'm
a
happy
little bit
for
when we talk
Indiana,
about
though. I wanted Indiana to win.
Viral moments. Well, Brandon's been really high on Indiana.
I have.
But this game now not as much into it, but still a big game in the Big Ten, and Ohio State just completely rolling. Brandon, what do you think?
Well, this is now an even bigger game for Penn State because if they start 0-2, season's pretty much done for them because they had high expectations. But I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I know a lot of people will say it's a good bounce back spot for Penn State, or maybe they're dangerous because they lost, but I just think they lost to Indiana because they're not very good. And that's dangerous to play Ohio State when you're not very good. I think Ohio State comes in, beats the shit out of Penn State, and covers the number easily.
And Dan, we talked a lot about the James Franklin fuck you tour in the last couple of years. He made some really bad mistakes last week. What did you think going into this week? Do you think we're going to see the same James Franklin?
Look, I don't like James Franklin. I mean, he's an okay coach. I think he's a good recruiter. I think Penn State, though, is going to keep this game somewhat close. Ohio State, Justin Fields is awesome.
Yeah.
Ohio State's offense is awesome. I wasn't that impressed by Ohio State's defense. That first half, Nebraska was kind of moving the ball. So I think Penn State will be able to stay in this game, and it's going to be, I don't know, like a touchdown game.
The issue with that, though, Dan, is Sean Clifford kind of stinks. Penn State's quarterback, and they don't have any running backs left.
Well, Sean Clifford ran for a lot of yards.
Sean Clifford ran for a lot of yards against Indiana. I don't think he's good enough to do this against Ohio State.
I think I just think Penn State will keep it close.
Dave?
These two teams always play close games. For whatever reason, Penn State's a team that gives Ohio State trouble. I think Penn State gives them trouble again. I think they can possibly win the game. I love Penn State here.
Big Ev, I know I'm going to have to give you your moment here.
Am I wrong about the defense?
No, you're
Nebraska
right. No, we have a lot of
also right that Penn State always gives them trouble.
No, in a normal year with fans, Penn State would be dangerous. I think no fans, no whiteout makes a massive difference.
Mm-hmm. That's probably
honestly, early on, I was telling myself that I think this is going to be a game where Penn State just throws haymakers and throws the kitchen sink and they give us a game. But I just think watching them play Indiana, I think the talent discrepancy is big, and I think we end up winning this game. We cover the number.
Justin Fields definitely looks like he's just playing very easily out there, but I agree. I think Penn State is going to keep this one closer. Ohio State's going to win, but I think Penn State is going to come out and they're going to not make the same mistakes they made last week, and they're going to keep it close. Let's go to One Blade Trivia with Brandon Walker. Make sure you head to a store near you to check out the new Trim It to Win It promo, available nationwide. Pick up a specially marked One Blade Barstool pack, and you can win up to $1,000 to the Barstool store. Every pack is a winner, so get your Barstool merch while supplies last in stores near you. Brandon Walker.
All right, last week's winner was Will Redass from College Station, Texas. That's at Will Redass. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. The first one with the correct answer wins a Barstool and One Blade merch pack. 3 coaches have won the Frank Broyles Award for the nation's top assistant coach, and later won the Home Depot National Coach of the Year. Name those 3 coaches. They won the award for the National Assistant Coach of the Year, later won the National Head Coach of the Year award.
Who's the OU coach?
It has all happened.
Lincoln Riley?
No.
It has all happened since 2000.
With the one.
And you are on the right path.
I'm thinking the guy who had the bars, who coached the Cowboys.
Oh, Barry Switzer?
Yeah, Switzer.
That is incorrect.
Are you saying past since 2000?
Since 2000, they've won the Broyles Award for
Kirby Smart.
Incorrect.
Coach.
Whoa.
Incorrect.
Whoa.
So that is hashtag
Stoops?
One Blade Trivia. No.
Wait, they won the...
Am I on the right track?
They won the Frank Broyles. Well, one of these coaches has Oklahoma ties.
The Texas Tech coach. Now the Arizona coach.
Still no.
Kingsbury.
No. What does he have Oklahoma ties for? Was he at Oklahoma for a while?
He was at A&M.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I got confused.
3 coaches have won the Frank Broyles Award for Nation's Top Assistant, later won the Home Depot National Coach of the Year award.
I don't know. This question stinks.
That's a great question.
That's a hard question.
It's just like coaches. I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Wow, is this the first one that we haven't had to have a
I
will tell you guys after the show. That is a question.
I couldn't name one guy who's won an assistant
Can I give you a
coach
hint?
of the year.
Can I give you a hint?
You want to ruin the question?
I want it after the show.
Okay.
No hint.
Assistant Coaches of the Year awards.
I like that. No, but I like when you think who was the big name. I like it. I like the question.
All right, Big Ev, let's go to viral moments of the week.
All right, first viral moment of the week. Coastal Carolina.
Dabo.
Undefeated.
Definitely.
Nope.
Really?
Really?
You knew that was going to
assistant
happen.
at Georgia? No.
I don't know, but he didn't win the Frank Broyles Award for the Assistant Coach of the Year.
All right.
All right, Big Ev, continue.
Coastal Carolina undefeated. Ranked for the first time ever. Gets a big win over Georgia Southern. Ranked 20th, I believe now. Comes with maybe the most electric, just like out of left field WWE celebration of all time in the locker room. Insane.
I couldn't even tell if this was like real time or something they did in the preseason. I've seen the wrestling, but this was awesome.
So they plan all this before the game, though?
Yeah.
And that's their mascot, the other team?
Yeah,
They
that's
put
the
camel clutch.
Yeah. Fucked him up.
They'll have mullets. Like, it's unbelievable.
It is electric. They're what, 20th in the country right now?
Yeah, 20th.
It's insane. All right, moment number 2.
Moment number 2. The Rice quadruple doink. The unthinkable.
They played for
Unfathomable.
The lineman here is so funny.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
And ended up losing the game in overtime.
They played for a field goal twice in overtime.
Thank you.
71's reaction.
1, 2.
He's like, oh, we got it.
Some of the most premature, like, guys.
I was looking at 40.
71 is, he's the one losing it. Moment number 3, Ev.
Moment number 3, true freshman, Jackson Smith-Nigba, the most just defying physics, unreal, how did he do it catch ever.
Fucking Fox gave me a DCMA for this. I'm just trying to show awesome
He did?
catches. Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
have
a bad
I know.
precedent.
I know.
Man,
True freshman.
that's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we understand he's a true freshman. Fucking hell.
What a catch. What
First
year
college
is it?
football game ever.
What year is it?
Wait,
First college
how's
football
it
game
first-
ever played.
How?
True freshman.
Oh.
Dave hates
Where did
that.
he play last year?
Texas.
How much you pay him, Ev?
Enough.
Because he's a true freshman.
Yeah.
Okay. Moment number 4.
We had a few good ones. We just talked about it before. The Indiana-Penn State ending. Was he in? Was he not in? Did the ball cross the plane?
I said on Unnecessary Roughness, this is like the gold dress, blue dress thing. Depending on which part of his body I'm looking at, I can see it go across the plane. Sometimes I can't.
Well, if you're an Indiana fan, you see it going in.
Right, but like if you
Ball
watch his
right
body,
there
it looks like it goes
down.
across.
Yeah.
But it's
Clearly
the
down.
tip of the ball could hit before the
Could be
pylon.
in.
Yeah.
But not really.
It's a great stretch.
What was the Coastal Carolina? There's another, like Coastal Carolina, they watch out for them. They also had that speech earlier in the year, not the dog one, a different one, like guys or something. I forget the speech. It was unbelievable.
They also have a mulleted linebacker who's
You got a lot of
Doing
them.
everything.
A lot of them.
Chanticleers are not fucking around.
Really good quarterback, too.
on the road.
I know,
at Georgia
two
State.
and a half, yeah. But no letdown in these kids.
All right, let's go to the Phillips Norelco Locks of the Week. Phillips Norelco One Blade is the one tool that will let you trim, edge, and shave any length of facial hair. So we are midway through the college football season. Big Ev is still 7-0. So
Great.
Ev, I'm going to
Good job,
let you.
Big Ev.
Congratulations.
I mean, it's pretty great. Do you want to go first or last? I'm going to let you.
I'll go last.
Okay, you're going to go last. So Brandon, we're going to start with you. You are 4-3 on the year. So I'm just going to go out of order just because I feel like it.
Okay, so out of teams that have played 5 games or more this year, Notre Dame has the number 3 defense in the country. Notre Dame's defense is outstanding. In 4 ACC games, they have one outlier. Florida State had a bunch of turnovers, but they've given up 3, 6, and 13. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, under 57.
Yikes.
Why?
Georgia Tech's my number 1 over team in the country.
Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, under 57. Lock.
Yikes.
Lock.
Literally, I'm not just saying that. The quarterback makes plays. He's elusive, and they have no defense.
Notre Dame's defense is outstanding, and they have no offense. So this is a clash
Yeah,
of the
but their
Titans.
defense is so bad, everybody scores on Georgia Tech.
Did you hear that it's number 1 over team?
That's, You said they're your number 1 over.
Correct. Yes.
They're not the number 1 over.
But that doesn't change at all?
No, I don't know.
Notre Dame's my number 1 under team.
Okay. Well, we'll see who wins that one. Dan, you got?
Duke minus 9.5. I like Duke minus 9.5. Charlotte is taking a step up. Duke's got they had a bye week. Duke also, by the way, Duke is like top 10 in pace in the country.
Are they?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Seems like they shouldn't.
I was looking at it the other day. They were trying to play fast. I think Duke will handle them easily. They've had some tough games where things haven't gone their way. So I think against Charlotte, that is a major step down. They will win this game and win it easily.
So Georgia Tech started slow. That wasn't over. 16-13 Florida State. Since then, 49-21, 37-20, 46-27, 73-7, 48-27. They're an over team.
73 was Clemson, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
This is Notre Dame, different. Ian Book.
Notre Dame's and Clemson, 2 different schools. I like Penn State. I said I think they can win the game, so I love the points. I just think it's going to be a close game. Who cares? Ohio State beat Nebraska. Let's not forget, Nebraska fucking stinks.
They do stink. I'm going to take Texas A&M because, you've completely convinced me now that it's going to be 100,000 people. And the last time I
I didn't commit. I asked for facts.
Well, I didn't. I thought it was going to be 25%, and now you're saying that it's going to be.
If you're saying the same,
saw the game.
I said earlier I saw the game.
So if it's
it
what
looked like
was
more.
last
It
time,
looked like
it's a
more
sellout.
people, but they said that it was 25%. But it is a night game at Kyle Field. I think that this game is normally close because it's at a neutral site. And the last time I took A&M as my lock, they kicked the shit out of Mississippi State. So I feel like I'm just going to keep rolling with
Okay,
that.
I like that.
All right, Big Ev.
By 14.
I'm taking Cincinnati minus 6.5. Good defense. I think they're the best Best team in that conference, going Cincy.
We'll see.
I like that.
We'll see if Big Ev can go 8-0. Forget about using multiple tools. The Philips Norelco One Blade does it all. Your style made simple. Philips Norelco One Blade is now 20% off when you subscribe to replacement blades. Let's finish out the show with our top 10s. We'll start with mine. Pretty shocked that Cincinnati is still at 7. I moved Michigan to number 10. Dan, I would have put Wisconsin up there too.
That's a new thing they're doing right there. I've never noticed that.
What?
Like you're on the screen.
Oh, I am on the screen.
Thing.
Wow.
Blattman's so fucking
I like
happy
your
with
sweatshirt.
himself right there.
My sweat.
It's a Blattman trick.
My sweat. Oh, he said it was an accident.
Oh, I like it.
He said, yeah, I think. By the way, the sweatshirt is great. Thank you, Brandon. I got it in Starkville. So do we talk about the top 10s, Blattman, or do we just keep, what should we?
It's a cool look.
Yeah, it is a cool look.
Ooh.
Okay, so my top 10 is pretty standard to what it was. I moved Michigan to my number 10 spot. Dan, I would have put Wisconsin there, but they're not playing, so I don't know when they're going to play again. Keeping A&M at number 8, and then.
How do you have Florida ahead of Michigan?
Because they played more games.
Well, I mean, that was this the Girl Scouts. I mean, who cares if they played more games?
Well, they have a more impressive win than Michigan.
Who?
Who have they beat? Who's Florida beaten?
So Florida has played.
A&M, they lost to them.
They lost to A&M.
Like South Carolina.
South Carolina, they don't.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake. I should
Michigan.
put. Yeah,
Minnesota's
can we
in
switch
there.
that?
It's embarrassing that you've got Florida ahead of
Well,
them.
you put Florida ahead of A&M and they beat
I
them.
also have Florida ahead of Michigan in just a minute.
Oh, you do? Well, then you might as well
SEC
just.
bias.
I think Florida's
That might.
better.
Yeah. If I can switch it, I'll put.
No,
Michigan.
I don't. I do not. Dave, I do not have Florida ahead of Michigan.
Brandon, you might as well go ahead and do it since we both have Florida ahead of Michigan.
So I'm going to just go ahead and acknowledge that I forgot about Cincinnati too. I should have Cincinnati.
What?
Here.
Wow.
I do not. But I wanted to. I
Who'd
want
you
to
put in
reward
instead of Cincinnati?
Indiana. Indiana beating Penn State at home. I got Indiana at number 10. I just thought they deserved it after that big win. So
Isn't
I got
that your spite spot?
Wait. Hold on.
what?
You have Indiana ahead of Cincinnati and BYU? BYU gets no respect.
Yeah,
BYU's undefeated.
Of course, Indiana's also undefeated.
But they've won one game.
Okay, well,
BYU's like 6-0.
yeah, they haven't beaten anybody. Indiana has a better win
Houston's
than BYU.
pretty damn good.
Indiana's one win is better than BYU's 6.
Okay.
I mean,
What's
All
wrong?
right.
I think.
Michigan has a better win than Florida and A&M.
No.
Florida
Michigan
was a
doesn't have
top
better win
five.
than A&M. A&M beat Florida.
Florida
No,
was
but
a top
Florida
5
shouldn't
team.
be ahead of Michigan.
I don't think A&M and Florida.
Florida was
Minnesota
three-
goes and
Florida-
beats both those teams in Minnesota.
Well, that's just not true. I mean,
Florida.
Yeah, they roll the boat. You
Minnesota's
got-
defense is
Big
terrible.
Ten tough.
I mean, Florida was a top 5 team in the country when A&M beat them.
According to
Who
who?
cares?
According
The
to
polls?
the polls.
Because there were no teams playing.
Exactly.
But there was still
This
a
is
number
what the
there.
SEC
Well,
does
Minnesota-
all the time.
Minnesota-
Well, it's a top
Minnesota
5 team.
rolled in from last
Every
year.
SEC
Okay.
team starts in the top 5.
Minnesota's defense is terrible.
Says who?
They are
You?
terrible.
Says my eyeballs.
Yeah. What you
What's
see?
your- what's your eyes see?
They played one game and they played a superior NFL caliber quarterback.
You didn't know who he was 7 days ago.
Yes,
That
I
doesn't
did.
matter.
Absolutely lie.
When did you learn of his existence?
7 days ago, I knew. When did we film the show?
7 days ago.
Exactly. So you said I didn't know who he was 7 days ago.
7 days ago.
8 days ago. I'm sorry, my mistake.
He
Okay.
did find out on the
Facts
show. He
right.
did.
Yeah.
He did.
Some facts and then come back
Michigan
and
should
see
probably be ahead of Florida, but definitely not ahead of A&M.
I think both.
I have Michigan ahead of Florida.
Grant, are we
What?
taking the fact that A&M gets credit for having home crowds?
I mean, the whole SEC has 25%. It's not A&M's fault. They just have a bigger and better stadium than
Well,
everybody
A&M
else.
doesn't have 25%.
Yeah, well, they do. On
we
paper,
went to
they
a
do.
game. You saw 25%.
Well,
That-
your
we saw
stadium
the
holds
rules.
like 40,000 people.
62.
A&M holds double that. So, of course, it's going to look like more
And they
people.
were all there.
Well, they weren't. Big Ev, your top 10.
Pretty chalky. I do have BYU in there. Do have
Thank
Cincy
you.
in there. OK State's
Thank
defenses
you.
look very
The
good.
Penn State at 10, Ev?
What?
Indiana's a good team.
That fuck?
Indiana's good. The Big Ten's a good conference.
What are you
So
doing?
you don't have Michigan. You got Penn State in over Michigan.
We have a top 10 matchup this week. Big
Yeah,
important
so
game.
I'm the only one who has a real fucking top 10.
I do.
It's insane.
Okay, I want to say, though, the fact that the Big Ten is now back, like, they're all going to be yelling at each other. It's not me and you yelling at each other anymore.
Well, I mean,
Like,
how can you have Penn State just lost at Indiana?
They lost
I
to a
agree.
very
They
good
have
Indiana.
0
team.
wins, Ev. They have 0 wins.
0 wins.
Very good Indiana.
Get out of
team.
here, Ev.
I mean, you don't have
You're a
BYU in there, and
disgrace.
they have
BYU hasn't played anybody. BYU's played high
6-0,
school.
and they
But
kicked the
they're
shit out of
rolling.
Play who
everyone.
you can play is Kobe.
Yeah.
Dan, your top 10?
Yeah, here's my top 10. Again, I'm going by you have to have played, okay? Teams that are every single team in this top 10 is undefeated.
I like this top 10.
Okay.
What are you
if
going to
they're
say
all-
to me?
okay, if they're all undefeated,
They're
okay.
literally all undefeated. In Michigan, I think,
I like Coastal being in there.
Yeah, BYU is 6-0. Michigan had a good win, so they're 8.
Why is-
Ohio State, kicked the shit out of Nebraska. I'm also giving them a little extra because I like Justin Fields and I think he's up there. But this Tell me how this is not a good top 10.
Why is Wisconsin not on there?
Because
they're
not playing.
Follow the
I'm a
rules.
fucking unbiased, real journalist who gives you a real top 10 of teams that are all undefeated. Every single team in that top 10 is undefeated. If you play more games, you get a better ranking, in my opinion.
If Wisconsin was playing this week, where would they have been?
They'd probably be...
Number 1?
No. Put it back up.
Yeah, because surely you'd
Put it
have them
back up.
ahead of Coastal Carolina.
Put it back
and
up.
Marshall.
I would have put them... No, I would have probably put them like 9. I would have put them 9. I would have put Coastal 10, Marshall would have been 11.
Okay,
That
it's
would have
very
been my
unbiased.
honest-
That's unbiased.
Illinois is not good.
It's unbiased. All right.
Michigan, I was impressed by Michigan.
Dave, I assume Michigan's staying at number 1?
Well, how could they not? They went in number 1. They had the most impressive win. People are going to say this, arguably of the season. You go in and you beat a pretty good Minnesota team by 1 million.
Some people are saying that.
Yeah. Northwestern looked great. I have them in there. I have A&M with your 1 loss in there.
Oh, thank you.
I think Georgia with the 1 loss, I think that's a pretty fair top 10 right there. Who am I missing?
You are missing Cincinnati.
Maybe, but I'd argue all these teams ahead of Cincinnati. I
Cincinnati.
can live with that. They're probably 11 or 12.
Cincinnati,
You like
Coastal.
you think Northwestern had a better win than Indiana?
Yes.
Penn State's just not good at all.
I-
You forgot.
Against Marathon?
You forgot.
At home, Northwestern won by 50. I think Northwestern's a better team.
Penn State was a top 10 team, though.
Indiana beat Penn State.
I understand. Did they, though?
They did.
Not according to my eyes, they didn't. They're saying this is going to be the year you got to use your eyes in the polls. They lost that game.
They did say that. I love that the Big Ten is back. This show's back to being very spicy. Anything else before we go into week 9, fellas? Nope.
No.
Scores don't matter in the first year of Mike Leach.
What do you mean
Scores don't matter. Program building matters.
They do matter when you bet the under.
Program building matters. That's what we're doing.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
One thing to remember when you're gambling on the Barstool Sportsbook app, make sure that you gamble responsibly. Know your odds, know your chances of losing.
Gamble responsibly. Nobody wants to end up in a trash can.
You can play with Penn National, which is a licensed and regulated operator. Big words. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.